Supergirl, the movie that nobody wanted from the studio who hasn't produced a good film in God knows how long. I just saw it, and the main takeaway is this is exactly what you would expect. There's definitely going to be some spoilers in this video, so if you haven't seen it yet, you don't have to. There's so many movies that Supergirl borrows from that it's just like a jumbled mash of movies that you've already seen before. And if you saw all of the trailers and you saw all of the releases that they put out, it's basically like you saw most of the action in this movie. Surprisingly, the movie had a plot. I'm not saying that the plot was amazing, but saying a movie has a plot that they follow through with throughout the movie is something that is few and far between nowadays. So the movie opens with a part that we've already seen. It's Supergirl laying in a drunken mess. Krypto pees on the image of Spider-Man. And that's really a symbol the DC universe. They just keep shitting on all of their original characters. It's insane to me. Some of the best characters ever written, and they have just failed time and time again. So the movie opens off with Millie Alcock drunken, going bar hopping on an alien planet that looks identical to Guardians of the Galaxy. You could tell this is in the James Gunn universe or whatever. It literally looks like Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, I saw some people online making this critique. Throughout the whole movie, the character development isn't there. I would not be opposed to starting your character like this. They're at their lowest point. She's drunk, she's in the bar, she's making bad decisions. I would be all fine with that if we're progressing somewhere. But we'll get back to that. Then we cut to the real main character of this movie, which is hilarious to me that they literally made a Supergirl movie, but the best character and the character who had the most progression and the most story is this little 12-year-old girl. So we see Ruthie's family get murdered right in front of her, which they gave her the direct origin story of Conan the Barbarian. That is the catalyst of the plot. This little girl ends up going to a bar after her family is murdered right in front of her, and she is trying to get help and get revenge for her family. Some people in the bar try to steal her father's sword, and that's when Supergirl comes in and rescues her. And on the planet that she's on, it's under a red sun, so Supergirl doesn't have the power she normally has, and is the reason she's able to get drunk in the first place. So then Ruthie is trying to get Kara to help her find the person who killed her father. So Kara takes her back to her ship, and the next day, conveniently, the exact same, they call them brigands, which is, first of all, let me say, that is the most uncreative thing. That's a generic term for a bad guy, a brigand. That was the best you could come up with. So the exact same guy finds Supergirl's ship the next day, conveniently, even though it's in the middle of nowhere, shoots Krypto with a couple of darts and steals the ship and escapes. And let me tell you, the fact that they're called brigands, and they're an all-male race of people that kidnaps little girls to take them as brides. Oh my God. The most generic name for a villain and is an all-male race of people who kidnaps little girls and takes them as brides. Tell me you hate men without telling me you hate men. And that sets up the whole plot of the movie. Kara obviously decides to help this little girl get revenge while trying to save her dog Krypto, because these brigands are the only ones who have the antidote, conveniently, for the thing that they just shot Krypto with. 3 days, they have to find these brigands, get the antidote, come back, save Krypto. I can deal with that. That's the plot. It's not a grand thing. She's not saving the world. I don't mind that. I like that it's a focused story in that aspect. Now, did they nail it? I don't think they did. So they have to take what is public space transportation, and while they're on their way, they get stopped by pirates. They come on board, steal all of the valuables on the ship. They're about to get away. Kara steals one of their invisibility devices, tries to fight them off, then she is jettisoned into space. And you think, obviously, she wasn't going to die, but she floats right into the yellow sun, and she gets her powers back. She defeats the pirates, and her and Ruthie escape to the next planet, where they go to another bar. They're looking for the brigands. And this is the first major action scene in the whole movie. 30, 40 minutes in, and Supergirl defeats everybody in the bar. Then the people who own the bar say that they have information of where this guy is. They were just like, come home with us, and then we'll facilitate you getting to him. They follow them home, and it's literally the most obvious. As soon as you meet this couple, you're like, oh, they're gonna betray them, and they're obviously working for the brigands. But Supergirl, with these powers, can't tell, apparently. So they get double-crossed by this couple. They get captured by the brigands. The brigands had kidnapped their daughter and took her as a bride. So the only way to get her back alive is to capture them. And here's where we get to one of the dumbest scenes literally ever. The brigands come and Kara's fighting them off. The main guy comes, Ruthie sees him and has an opportunity to kill him. And she's literally about to do it. Kara comes in and flies, and instead of taking him out because he's getting ready to kill other people, she takes out Ruthie. In turn, she gets the daughter killed, literally. And then she's explaining to Ruth, oh, killing somebody, it'll stay with you forever, even though she literally just directly got people killed 2 seconds ago. And she's like, oh no, that'll haunt you forever. It was so dumb. And then after that, she has to go into space and have a scream session, like one of those feminist gatherings in the woods where they all scream. And she has to scream her lungs out, and then she's completely fine after. I was in the theater like, what the fuck are we doing? So she has this feminist scream session. She comes back, she's back to normal, and then makes the dumbest decisions ever. She trusts the brigand crew to get her back to the brigand ship. Oh, during this whole thing, we finally get to see Kara's backstory and the origin of Supergirl. And they really doubled down on the fact that Superman was sent to Earth to be a god, and Kara was there to be the good one. So they really doubled down on that fact. It was kind of stupid to me that they have the technology to create a force field suspended into space, but they don't have the technology to go to a different planet and set up on a different planet. They have the technology to make a device to send 2 children to other planets, but they can't send a couple more people. It literally does not make any sense. They did not think that through far enough. Nick Miller is the father of Supergirl, and he says, we're not sending you off to be a god. You have to be good. You're not going to be like your cousin. Just enforcing that Supergirl is good and Clark was actually sent to be evil. Something that was never like that in the comic books ever. Father Nick Miller designs the same spaceship that Kal-El flew to Earth on, and he designed it for Kara. And the spacesuit, what are we doing here? Are they trying to make it look like this movie was made in the 70s, or are they trying to make it look futuristic? Because in some aspects, they're making it look the old style, Space Odyssey 2001. But on the other aspect, they're making it look exactly like Guardians of the Galaxy. So pick a lane here. You can literally see the LED tubes on her space outfit. It was fucking so dumb. This is a $170 million movie or something like that. It's cool that they were doing this in the 70s when the budgets weren't this high. But if you're spending all this money and you're still making costumes that you can see the LEDs in the tubes, what are we doing here? Kara gets back from her feminist scream session. She immediately goes to the brigand crew and is like, take me to the guy, take me to the ship, just trusting that they're gonna take her there with no problems. She immediately gets outsmarted by them. They take her there, but the guy, the main villain guy, he's on a planet with, get this, a green sun. Yes, people. So it's not kryptonite that is the bane of Superman and Supergirl. It's the color green now. That's what it is. And I mean, I don't know too much. I'm obviously not a scientist in any way, shape, or form. But I looked it up. Are green suns real? Like, has that happened anywhere in the universe? And no, not really. Some suns may appear green at certain moments in time, but no, this isn't a real thing. So now, just the color green is kryptonite now. That's what we're doing. Supergirl is incapacitated on this planet. She's outsmarted again. The color green is too much for her. She has to find a cave to hide in. And this is where the real main character of the movie, Ruthie, has to come and save her. And that's what she does. She gets kidnapped onto the ship, put into the brigand jail with Jason Momoa's character. And then, although I did not hate the character of Ruthie, the scene where she basically convinces a guard that she wants to talk, she wants to see Krem, and she gets a guard to come in herself. And then she overpowers this 6'5" dude and chokes him out and escapes from prison. And I was like, what the fuck? If I had a 12-year-old girl on me, you could literally just take her and throw her off you in 2 seconds. So that part took me out of it. Her and Jason Momoa escape from the prison, and she goes up into the air vents. Another thing that is still on all spaceships for some reason, we still have air vents. So she sneaks around, gets her sword back, ends up getting caught by Krem in the end. And this is when the green sun sets and the yellow sun on this planet rises. So just very conveniently, there's a green sun and a yellow sun on this planet. Supergirl is able to get her powers back. This is when she puts her suit on, and the main fight that people have seen in the trailers and other releases that they've put out already. And let me tell you, it wasn't great. The CGI wasn't anything to note on. It was just like your standard Marvel fight scene. There was literally nothing to note about it. So, as you would expect, Kara takes out the whole brigand ship. She saves Ruthie, and they escape. She goes back in to save the brides and leaves Ruthie again alone, just like in the middle of the desert. The time continuity at this point was it was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Supergirl is flying at top speed, 100 yards or so away, not even a mile away. She's flying at top speed to get the brides out of the cage and fly them back. And in this time, the entire brigand army was able to drive up in cars and just start circling Ruthie. So again, Kara, after like 5 minutes, comes back and she has to fight everybody again and save everybody again. And then Ruthie has the opportunity to get her revenge. This is what her whole story has been about. She doesn't do it. She's convinced by Kara to be the better person and not seek revenge. She knows that this is going to haunt her for the rest of her life. To be honest, though, that whole thing was stupid to me. That Kara was so obsessed with her not getting revenge for her family because she felt like that was going to haunt her for the rest of her life. Honestly, if my whole family was murdered right in front of me by a ruthless child villain and I had the opportunity to kill him and I didn't, that would haunt me for the rest of my life. Literally 2 seconds later, Supergirl ends up killing this guy. She doesn't take her own advice. Her own character development, gone. Just gone. She starts as this girl and she ends at the exact same point. She starts as somebody who's damaged. She's angry all the time. She's telling this girl, oh, this killing, if you kill people, that's going to haunt you. And then she goes and does it. And in the moment, I was like, finally, somebody killed this guy. He had to die. But at the same time, when you think about it, she doesn't listen to her own advice. And she's in the exact same spot as when in the beginning. She's just not drinking anymore. That's literally it. She brings Ruthie back home, and then she decides to go to Earth. And that's basically it. She talks with Superman at the end, and that's the end of the movie. And my final take from this movie is like, that's exactly what I expected. I expected a terrible movie. Honestly, I expected it to be worse than it was, really. I really did. So I guess that's a pleasant surprise when you're going in expecting the Marvels. Was it as bad as the Marvels, baby? I don't know if it was that bad. Like I said, it had a plot, save Crypto. And then they did. Oh yeah, that was the other thing. They bring the antidote back to Crypto, save him. That's the end of the movie. Her and Crypto go back to Earth. I know the reviewers are already tearing it apart, and it's going to flop in the box office. Literally nobody I saw this movie on Thursday. There was 4 other guys there by themselves, and that was it. Because who sees superhero movies? People, men. Yes. But I want to know what you guys think. Did you like the movie? Did you enjoy it? Was it what you were expecting? Were you expecting Supergirl to not be the main character of the Supergirl movie? Let me know in the comments down below. If you listened this far in the video, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. We have a lot more videos coming your way. But until then, I'm Brandon. This is Screen Wars, and we'll see you in the next one.